Welcome to IELTS Symphony. Today, we're looking at a reading passage from the IELTS exam, all about science in 16th century London. Let's check out the passage first. Now, here are the questions. These are sentence completion questions. That means we have to read the sentence and choose the correct ending based on the passage. Let's begin with question 1. Harkness's research method was different to that of other writers because. So the question is asking what made her method different. We saw her name at the beginning of the passage. Let's take a quick look at that part first. Nothing important there yet. Let's keep reading. This next paragraph seems to talk about her methods. Now, here's the key sentence. She began her research by asking herself a new question. Not what caused the scientific revolution, but what the names science and scientist meant in 16th century London. Let's finish the paragraph. Then, she collected a vast range of sources, from printed books to scientific instruments and notebooks, and recorded, in a relational database, information on the men and women who produced them. This part lists the steps she took in starting her research. So, I think this is our key sentence. Now let's compare it to the answer options. A. She has the greatest knowledge of Elizabethan London. The text doesn't say this is what made her method different. B. She started by seeking to understand how basic terms were used in the past. This matches to not what caused the scientific revolution, but what the names science and scientist meant in 16th century London. Here, science and scientist are basic terms used during that time, and Harkness wanted to understand how people understood those words back then. This was a unique approach for a researcher, because most others were focused on the causes of the scientific revolution, not the meaning of the terms themselves. So, the best fit for question 1 is B. Let's move to the next question. 2. Harkness's reconstruction of the 16th century London scientific groups was new because. Here, we can focus on keywords like reconstruction and scientific groups. Let's scan the passage quickly for these terms. If we don't find them, we'll read a bit more. All right, nothing here yet. Now, we've found the part with our key terms. It says, Harkness not only presents the theories, but also discusses the analysis of these practices as well. Let's finish the paragraph. It doesn't bring up anything new, but it does provide support for what she did. Now, let's check the answer options. This part here directly matches option D. She examined how their methods evolved and changed. It relates to the idea that when analyzing the theories, she had to look at how they changed and were modified over time, especially going through trial and error in practice. Here, developed means going through evolvement and changes over time. So, we'll go with D for question 2. Let's move to the last question. Harkness shows that the 16th century London scientists were innovative because. This time, we're looking for how these scientists in 16th century London were innovative. Let's scan for those key ideas: scientists, London, and something about innovation or creativity. Here in this sentence,
differed means were different from. Here, it's used to show a contrast between 16th century scientists and those from the 17th century. Let's read the paragraph. Here's the part that stands out. It says, they saw themselves less as individuals out to gain fame than as members of larger textual communities bent on exchanging and compiling information. And later it adds, they adopted the textual information processing methods of humanist scholarship to radically new ends. Let's look at the answer choices now. A, not related to innovation. B, already used for a different question. C, talks about individuals, but the passage says they worked together. D, we already selected this for question 2. E, about Clement Draper, not relevant here. F, yes, this one says they used old ways of analyzing written information for new purposes. That clearly matches the text here, using humanist methods in radically new ways. New ends means new purposes. So the correct answer for question 3 is F.
If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a lesson. Let me know in the comments how you did with these questions and what topics you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep aiming high. See you in the next video.